So let's show you to check to see if these fuses are burned out. Well, we don't need the common lead. We're going to go ahead and put this into ohms. We do need this positive lead right here. And I find it easier if you have a back probe pin probe. You can use something like this. You can use this probe if you want to. But what you're going to do is in the amperage area, there is a split connector. You can't put it down and measure on both, but you're going to come in on an angle and you're going to touch the top part of this lead right here. Now you notice how that is going to give me an ohm value. I'm not worried about what that ohm value is, but does it give me an ohm value? I want you to notice that this one, when I do the same thing, I'm getting OL. That's over the limit, and that means that that fuse is actually burned out. Now, if I do try to go in and touch both of these terminals, so I'm going to use this lead to do that, watch what happens. It thinks there's a lead problem. So you can't do that. It'll do the same thing if I go into here. You can use the very small tip of this. If I come in carefully and just get that top part right there, you'll notice I can make that test, and the same thing over on the other one. So I do need to fix this fuse, so why don't I show you how to do that as long as I've got you. We're going to go ahead and turn the meter off. You have to take it out of the jacket. Then you're going to go ahead and flip it over. There's a battery compartment right here. You need a coin or a small flat blade to open this up. Then you can get into the battery compartment where there's 2 screws. Let's take these 2 screws and that screw out. Those are a Phillips screw. So let's go ahead and remove those real quick. And then we have to separate the case. So this can be a little bit tricky. Just use a little patience and a little bit of time and we can get this apart without too much problems. So it's usually easier to pull the top part off and leave everything in the bottom part. Just got to be careful there. And there's our 2 fuses right there. We're going to have to replace these. And we want to look for the small one. So I have 2 replacement fuses here. And I've labeled that. This one here is my 400 milliamp fuse. This one is my 11 milliamp or 10 milliamp fuse. And you can see they're different sizes and lengths, so you can't get them mixed up. This one is my smaller one. So small fuse, small amperage. DM44, that's a bus fuse. And this one also says, you can't read it very well, but DM44. So that should be the fuse that I need. So let's go ahead and put the cover back on, and we can make a check to make sure that that's now going to work properly. Let's put this on ohms. Let's reconnect my lead, and let's come over with the test lead and carefully reach in and touch that. Now you see I have 1,000 ohms. That's the correct value. That lets me know that that fuse is in good working order. Back over to the high amp one, it still has that really low ohm value. As long as you get an ohm value and it doesn't read OL, those fuses are in good shape. Now we can just go ahead and turn this off and put the screws back in and put the cover back in. So let's quickly do that. Then the battery cover goes back in place. Using a small flat blade, sometimes you can use a coin, just go ahead and lock those in place. And now the protective cover can go back on. And now we're all ready to use our meter in the low amperage mode.